Well, come on, Sissy. Well, come on, Sissy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan, and today we are doing another simple signal stream. I'm quite excited to look into the charts today because I think we actually did, for once in a while, you know what, we've been on a streak of things not quite doing what they're supposed to do. But you know, I think today will be a bit different when we look at the charts, because we actually did what I thought we were going to do, which is very nice, very nice. We actually did better than I thought I was going to do, to be fair. And I kind of saved it. I was going to stream yesterday. But we were kind of mid-movement, and I thought I'd rather stream today so we can actually get the final movement, and I can actually analyse where we're going to go from here. So we've had a really good movement, as you might be able to see. We're kind of retracted now, 65.1 right now, but you know, that's brilliant right now, absolutely brilliant. So I'm very happy with the results, and also I'm not gonna gloat. My microphone is looking really loud. Hopefully my microphone isn't too loud. Please do tell me if it is. I won't gloat, but you know, I'm going to kind of talk about what we did last stream and kind of talk about what I thought was going to happen with Bitcoin and how it's turned out. And it's, you know, if you can kind of see by what the price is right now, you can see it's gone pretty good. So we're going to quickly look at the coin market cap, you know, see what percentages has been happening and whatnot, and then go on to the charts. We actually got quite a full stream today though, because we've actually got pre-planned coins, a lot of them on Chronos. Obviously we've got a CAW to look at, then we go on the list, we've got PUUSH, we've got Moon, MERY. There's some I haven't actually looked at the charts at yet, so it'll be fresh to get into. A quick update on CAW. Unfortunately, we didn't actually do what we fell below, as I did state on the stream where we looked at CAW. Obviously, I explained it was a lower cap coin, so things can happen more drastically, which could take us out of the range. But I've already done some TA previously today to kind of update where the price is going, so I will show that chart at the latter end of the stream, maybe about halfway through or 30 minutes through. About halfway through. And then we'll look at the meme coins, I suppose. Also, I do need to look at mouse and pasta. Really, I'm going to be quite quick on the memes because there's quite a lot of different ones. But to be fair, I'll be quick on Ethereum and Solana as well. So we've also got mouse and pasta, whatever it was, because I think last stream someone asked for that. So we'll be covering that as well. But so my normal statement when I say put coins in the chat and I will cover them, well, that is still still the case. But I'm not going to be covering as many coins based on chat, recommendation, because we've got a lot of coins to cover today. So maybe only one or two of the coins max today. So, if I see, some consistent messages from people for a specific coin, then I will look at it. But, hello to everybody. Looking at the chat now, see some people say hello. I'm glad you could all join me on the stream today. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty excited to get the charts. I think we did well. We did well with what we said was going to happen last stream. So I think I'm just going to get into it. Really quickly look at the percentages. We're pretty good. Obviously, we're having a bit of a retractment. We're kind of like hovering a bit because we had a really big movement upwards. Obviously, you can see on the 7-day 4.6%. You can also see by the little thing over here, we went up pretty nicely. So we're going to have a bit of a retractment, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly where I think we're roughly going to print at for our retractment point, because obviously we're not going to come all the way down, but obviously we're going to kind of test some sort of support, because if we don't test any support and we stay at the top, we're going to come all the way back down. Some action going on. That was what happened actually last time we went up. We didn't test anything at support, we came right back down. But I think this time a bit different, which will hopefully be some really good news. Really good numbers, obviously, some here and there. Solana's done pretty well, $159. I think I said last year, I think I said something like $173 is what I think we're going to go to on our big movement upwards. But $160 nearly, very good to see. I'm glad that's happened. I'm not going to spend any more time. Let's just get onto the charts. I've noticed as well, if I alt tab, it disconnects me from TradingView, and it displays an unfavorable number, which is not very good. But anyway, let's have a quick look. So you can see. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened. I'll delete this line, even though this line's pretty perfect. Obviously, it was just an exemplar line. So I'll tell you where we came from. So we were about here. I think we were somewhere within this area when we looked. It was Monday. So it was about, I think we were about here. We were hovering in between here. So as you can see, what's kind of happened is we bounced off the 2%. Also, my mouse is lagging today, so my drawing might be a bit dodgy. But you can see, my eyes are watering. I needed to sneeze, but I couldn't do it. Anyway, we've bounced off our 2% padding. Obviously, we came to our top point, which is to be expected. We kind of did that. Obviously, 4 hour, it's a bit more spread along. But you can see we bounced off our, my mouse is really dodgy today, our 2% padding. There we go. So we bounced off that. Very nice, cool. Where we came down to, and what I said was going to happen was I thought we would come to about here, this midpoint, because I thought I actually count. If you go back to the last stream, I actually counted the candles of how long it would take to get there, and I reckoned it was be about here. So I thought we were going to bounce here. Obviously, we did it a bit lower. Obviously, we came really low down here. But where we printed out was mainly what I'm trying to talk about here. As you can see, where we kind of printed out. Oh, let's see if I can actually get a good line. We were in that area. I drew it like this. We came to where I thought we would, which is good. If we come to where I thought we would, then we kind of move how I expected. And what I did say is we would come down here and bounce off of, and as I said on the stream, bounce off the higher end of our range and use it as a kind of trampoline to go upwards. And lo and behold, what did we do? We did exactly that. We used it as a trampoline and basically just absolutely pumped. Where did we come to though? I can't remember where I said exactly we'd come to. I said we'd come to about 65 free, but we surpassed all that. Obviously, coming to our high points here, having some difficulty at our breaker block, no surprise there. Printing above this, obviously, then entering this order block, which I don't know why that's there. I don't know why we have a rectangle there. I don't know why we have rectangles here. Maybe I drew them along and I forgot to change them or something. I don't know. I have rectangles there for some reason. Whatever. But obviously we entered that area and obviously bouncing off it exactly as I would expect. Obviously I wouldn't expect us to come all the way from about 61.5 all the way towards the top end of 66.5 and not have any sort of difficulty getting above these. I didn't expect us to reach anywhere near 68, and which obviously we didn't. Where did we bounce off? Well, we actually bounced off of, if I zoom in, pretty much to a T even. Wait, actually, was it to a T? Oh my god, it was. Look at that. So I think Mike said, what even is CAW of nice? Well, obviously, I know there's going to be some people here, oh my god, CAW. We're going to look at it at the end, or the latter half of the stream, about 30 minutes in. But obviously we will look at the charts. Unfortunately, we didn't do it how I thought we would do. But I did preface it. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I do need to preface this every stream as well. None of what I'm saying right now is financial advice. None of it is, something you should listen to as a. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not, something where you're listening to it to trade solely based on what I'm saying, and it's something where you kind of use it as like a kind of like a confluence. Maybe like you just do your own TA and you go, okay, let's see what Brogan says. Let's see what's going on there. Obviously, if you trust me that much, thank you. That means a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm just reading what I see in front of me. This is just the data. This is just the charts. So, at the end of the day, am I wrong? Am I right? Well, it just depends on what happens in the market. And sometimes, sentiments change. I'll do a stream, and it'll be a couple of days later. The sentiment can change during those days, and my TA could be wrong. And that's what happens. But I'm just reading my TA and what I think is going to happen based on, what I have in front of me and what is being, shown to me in the moment. So, just remember, none of it's financial advice. None of it is a, full. I'm not a crystal ball. I can't tell the future or anything like that. But obviously, as I was going to record, we kind of exited the range which we were moving in. Obviously, as I did say, lower market caps, they can move in more drastic ways with a lower amount of money to be put in. Obviously, that's how lower market cap works. It's more influence. It's more influential on bigger amounts of money, or it can be more easily influenced. I suppose I should probably say. And obviously, we exited out, but. Again, I will go on to it after the 30-minute mark of this stream today. Kabir, hello. I'm glad you can join. Let's look at any Sol or ETH news. Not today. We're looking mainly at Kronos, the latter half. But I did say if there's one, maybe two coins to look at. We've got a lot of coins to cover today. Got one, maybe two coins max. I will look at them. So if you do have a meme coin in mind, do put it in the chat. I will try and look at my best. But hello. Hello to Kishan as well. Absolutely go. Kabir, Kabir, you are also becoming, a I don't know what the scientific species name of goat is, but you are becoming one. You're here quite often in the streams. I'm very glad, and you do talk, and that's the most important thing to me as well. Is like joining us on the stream and spending time. I'm actually waffling right now, but joining us on the stream. I do say this a lot as well. Is I'll try to do TA as I'm speaking, but just being here and watching the stream. As we do it is more than enough for me. Obviously, donation if you have the facilities to do it and you feel like my content is quantifies donation, that is more than I'm more than blessed to accept the donation. But being here and commenting, especially if you're here interacting with the stream, that means a lot to me. Spending time and trying to talk to me means a lot. I'm also going to check the other chats as well. Some people saying hello to everybody in all the chats. Obviously, I don't have all chats open. A bit of a system going on here. So if you are, I think Mike is watching. He might be on the other streams as well. So if you are watching and you are on the other streams, I haven't said hello to your area yet, then Mike might pass on some messages. So Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just there's a lot going on at the same time. But as I was speaking, I think I'm gonna do this. So my reckon was, I think Mike's statement was he had 64,650, and we came to about 64,615, which was my. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize this when I drew the charts or looked at the charts earlier today. It was pretty much my exact high area for my order book. This was the exact order book. I think this order book's been a pretty good one throughout the time. It's been pretty decent. So we came exactly to my order block. Obviously, you know, we came above this mid-breaker block. I mean, we've had this breaker block for a while now, so we've come above this pretty fast. So some order blocks stronger than others. Obviously, some are drawn on different time frames. I think this one is on a lower time frame. I'm not too sure though. But I should try and go through them and delete them one day. One day, you're going to watch the stream and my whole chart's going to be different. It's going to be clean. But until then, we're going to have to stick with this. But anyway, I think my reckon was, before I looked at my chart and realised I actually, you know, my greatness, and as I've said this on before on streams, my greatness just comes out and it's just spoken upon the stream. And I don't exist outside the streams. I am a figure of the universe. I am just here to give the TA and I disappear until the next stream. And, you know, I draw these order blocks, you know, a month or 2 months ago, and it just stays there. It stays there in the background, sitting there. And then all of a sudden, it'll just come to this order block, and it's hit it exactly. And that's what's happened here. I didn't even realize I had this order block at that exact price point, and lo and behold, we had it at that price point. So very nice coming to there. Obviously, you know, when you're discovering your support point, obviously we're coming down rapidly. It's quite hard to tell which exact support point, unless you exactly look at the order flow in like the lower time frames. I suppose that's a good way of looking at it, maybe. Let's see if there's any influence by the EMAs. Not looking. EMAs have to catch up. Obviously, we're looking. Obviously, I do expect it to come down a bit, and my reckon was about 64,850 was going to be my support point. Obviously, you're looking at the EMAs. It could maybe catch up towards 64,250, but I do think I'm pretty happy with the 64,850. Yeah, but I've kind of, you know, I've been looking at other people and. You know, I've been doing some TA outside of it, and I kind of want to be using more EMAs. I think EMAs are great. I need to customize my Mark Cypher A bit more to look at EMAs, but you know, for now I'm going to hide them. But you know, I think I want to incorporate some more EMAs in my streams. But anyway, so yeah, we came to that exact bottom there. Obviously, that was a wick to test our lowest point. So obviously, you've got high points and low points for your candle, but then you've got the general printouts. Obviously, I think this was us testing our low points. But I think our candle printout is going to be at 64,850. I think that's where support's going to be, or what I reckon is anyway. I used to watch it on Matt's Live, become a third spam. Yeah, I've been finessed. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous on that place. I don't. I mean, I have it open right now. I just don't really read. I mean, I go over to it occasionally. Some people might say hello. I'll say hello back, but I hardly read it. It's more so on YouTube now where I try and look. So yeah. But yeah, as Mike's saying right now, first half, big caps. We've about 15 minutes left. I'm going to normally maybe spend another 5 minutes on Bitcoin, maybe not even that, and then quickly go over Ethereum and Solana, and then we'll move on to the the meme coins. The thing a lot of people might be here for. Let me just alt tab quickly. There we go. So yeah, so like I was saying, I think our wick down, which is where I think our lowest price point is going to be this high point for this order book. And I think where we're going to print out, I reckon, somewhere within the range of 64,850 in that area. Maybe to the low of 64,750, maybe to the high of 64,950. But I think this order block is generally where we're going to be, where our printout's going to be for Bitcoin before we kind of catch up. But to be fair, you can see by, you know, we are, you know, we've got a nice looking negative market cipher. You know, it is coming down. It was a red dot which printed above the 60 mark, coming down towards, you know, the 0 mark. Money flow is still kind of arcing, so it's showing to us that we're not quite in a negative trend yet. VOP's been coming down for a while. So markets, momentum and VOP are coming down. So, you know, what could happen is we come down to these lower points consistently and maybe come down to, you know, have our momentum come down, maybe grab a bit of these price points, have our momentum catch up to the lower ends, and then move up. So as I'm trying to speak about this, because I'm looking at how far we have to come down for the momentum before we can arc upwards again and be positive. And I'm seeing we've not got a lot of distance between there. So what could happen is either A, we crab a bit at this point and then come upwards, maybe even form some sort of similar like Bart Simpson-esque thing, maybe hover at this price point, hopefully have a strong price point here and then come back upwards to the higher things. Or B, looking at it, you know, depending on how much of an effect this momentum has on our price, maybe come down. And, you know, looking at our EMAs, I think this is the 21-day EMA I have here. Let me have a quick look. I think this is, I can't remember which one I'm showing right now. It's the 5th EMA. The 21-day, yeah, so 21-day, obviously that is a Fibonacci number. Obviously, you know, if you do the Fibonacci levels, you can have different, I think you can have, is it 12 or 14, one of those ones as good as well. But 21 days is pretty fast enough for me. I think this might catch up towards the midpoint, maybe even the top of 64,400. So what we could do, maybe actually looking at it, is even wick towards 64,400 before we kind of come upwards. But what I reckon, 62 base support, let me scroll down. 62 is quite a long distance away. I could see 61,550. We had a very, very exaggerated arc here, which bounced right off this 64 or 61 and a half right there. So we had a very 60k up. Let me have a little look to see what's going on. 68. I did have 68, or roughly 68. I think the midpoint of one of these areas was within, yeah. So the higher point of this order block, which I haven't brought along yet, was 68k. So yeah, I do agree with 68k. In terms of 62, I'm not seeing anything obvious apart from the higher end of this order block, which we have drawn here. So as you can see, the higher end of it is nearly 62k. But I think the obvious price action, the lowest point would be 61,500. But I don't think we're going to fall that low. I don't think we're going to fall that far. I do think, however, we could maybe bounce off our 21-day EMA as it moves upwards. So I think, I don't know how fast it would move upwards to catch up with us, but I think maybe within this green order block, I think we might be able to wick down here. Not print down here and stay down there, but I think maybe a wick, or maybe 2 wicks down here. I think we've got a lot of negativity. Like we haven't really, like we're snowboarding down the big old snow mountain, and we're just starting to arc downwards towards the big ramp, and we've come down quite a bit already. So I think we still do have a bit of negativity to be had for Bitcoin. So I think it could allow us to wick down. But like I said, I'm pretty confident in kind of these 2 order blocks here, either printing at this midpoint or printing at 64.5, either 64.5 or 64,850, whatever. I think these are good to print at. So as you can see, for example, down here we came to as low as the 61.1. The lowest part of this order block, but our printing was at 61.50. So I think something like that can happen. I think we could have come towards 64,380, 64,200 to test as like a wick, just to see what's going on. But I think we print roughly above in this area. I think there could be some crabbing to happen. I think we could crab a bit to allow our market cipher to catch up to be bullish again. So I think if we crab long enough, obviously we'll kind of form some sort of inverse Bart Simpson and then bring ourselves back upwards towards 66.5. So I think something like that's going to happen. Hopefully you guys agree. If you don't agree, tell me. If you think I am genuinely the worst TA drawer, tell me in the chat. Tell me. I would love to know. I'd love to know what you guys think. Because again, we're a community here. We're a family of crypto traders and crypto. People who interact with crypto. So if you have something different, like Kishan said, obviously 62. I will look, like whatever you say, even if it's 50k, I'll go down and I'll see if there's any sort of if I think it's viable, in my opinion, on my chart. Number one, it's my opinion. Number one, it's my chart. Your chart might be completely different. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But anyway, yeah. So I think I'm gonna move. It's about 9:20 now. We're on my time anyway. I said I was gonna spend another five minutes on Bitcoin, and we spent another 5 minutes. So I think I'm on to Ethereum now. I'm not gonna spend too long on Ethereum because I pray for pump. I think we're gonna pump. I think we come down to to test where our ground's gonna be, and then we come upwards. Can you explain the red and green dots on the chart? Yeah. So if you're talking about these ones, that is market cipher A. So I never really look at these. I don't think they're very good at all. I don't like them in the slightest. I mean, some of them are good, but I think it happens a bit latent. I mean, you know what? I should do my research on it, to be fair, because for me anyway, my TA is it's market cipher B, simple significance and order blocks. Maybe fair value gaps. I don't really look at fair value gaps anymore. I don't think I'm very good at looking at fair value gaps. Whenever I've looked at fair value gaps, it's been a 50-50. Order blocks have been strong for me. Market cipher B is always strong, and then general price action, and then chart patterns and whatnot. So that's kind of my sphere of what I look at. The reason there's dots on the chart is because of I think you mean the chart itself, like these dots. If you mean them, then that's market cipher A. I don't really look at that too much, but I wanted to bring up the EMAs here, so that's the only reason they're on there. But if you're talking about these, this is when the momentum shifts. So that's when our sentiment changes from bullish to bearish. And as I've explained quickly, I'll do it again. VWAP is kind of a per candle basis of what's kind of going on with the price. The money flow is our trend. So if we're going upwards, we're normally in a positive trend. If we're going downwards, normally in a negative trend. So you can see, from, if I zoom out quite far, you can see maybe from here, you can see as we come down, throughout this whole red money flow here, we've had our momentum come in and out, and our VWAP changing up and down. However, as we've consistently gone down, our price has gone down. As we start to arc upwards, our prices start to come upwards. So money flow is more of a trend-based thing. It normally follows a trend. The momentum is more of a intra-trend kind of movement. So if you see here, for example, as we've come upwards, as soon as we've arced upwards, our prices start to come upwards. As soon as we start to arc downwards, our price starts to come downwards. So it's kind of it's zoomed in. But if you're talking about market cipher B, it's when our momentum changes, and it's normally when we become bullish or bearish. But there's different reasons. Like, I wouldn't really look at this one, but to be fair, this was a really good anchor trigger wave right here. I don't really talk about anchor trigger wave. Oh no, it's not. It's a wick. Ignore that. That was wrong. That was actually a wrong. But over here was a good anchor trigger wave, and as you see, we start to come upwards from there. But yeah, there's certain times when you look at these dots or not. Obviously, that's if you have market cipher, you need to know them. I think you do actually. I think you had these indicators. Well, you know what? I'll do a video. What I want to do in the future, I want to make a video on my what I look at. I want to do like an in-depth, like what the market cipher, like how I read market cipher, how I read different things. But that's a later date. I'm going to move on that to Ethereum. Do I trade with bots? I don't really trade with bots. I did for a small amount to test, but it's normally me. I don't really trade with bots. But there's nothing against people who trade with bots. I mean, some bots do work. There are some methods which bots use, and they work, perfectly fine. So if you trade with bots, then nothing wrong with that. Obviously, as long as you're confident in it. But again, with some bots, unless they're really elaborately made, they don't really have a lot of context, and that's the issue I have with bots. Is they might be really good at following an algorithm and following a complete structure, but they don't really follow context too well. A lot of the ones I've interacted with could be interacting with terrible ones, but there's not really a lot to do with a bot which involves a lot of context, maybe news-based things or anything like that. It just solely looks at indicators, which is fine. And I me anyway, I look at indicators a lot as well. Sometimes a lot of time I try to look at the news to make sure I know what's going on, but bots don't really have a lot of context, so I don't really trade with them too much. I normally do my own thing. Got a really stuffy nose as well for some reason. So what's going on with Ethereum? Well, a similar. What's going on with Bitcoin? We've kind of had a split off with the charts. Normally, sometimes Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana all follow each other pretty well. Sometimes they don't. What it looks like here is we've kind of had a bit of a trade-off right now. As you can see, we've pretty accurately bounced off this order block pretty well, and it's kind of stopped us from reaching as high as Bitcoin. So you can see this order block stopped us because if these weren't in the way and it followed as the market did like Bitcoin, it probably would have came even higher, and this momentum would have been higher. But since we got stopped at this order block, it meant we became negative faster, which meant our momentum came more negative. But regardless, we had like 5% move up for Ethereum, so we were supposed to come down anyway. But that's why our momentum wasn't as high. Our VWAP has also been coming down quite low. So has Bitcoin. Why am I really bright? I just realised I'm really white for some reason. That did not work. However, doesn't matter. But like I said, what was I saying? Yeah, so the order blocks can't. Let me drink some water. I had some phlegm. It was messing with what my voice sounds like. This order block stopped us from reaching as high as we probably could have. But again, if you compare it, we kind of had like a Bart Simpson kind of going on here. So I suppose it reached where it's supposed to anyway. But it meant we could come down a bit more than come down faster and come down a bit more than what's going on with Bitcoin. But again, it looks like we've kind of moved similar like Bitcoin. But our EMAs have allowed us to catch up. We are now below these EMAs. I need to sort these EMAs. I'll do some. Let me hide them for now because they're not very good. I'll do some more research on what some good EMAs are. If you guys use EMAs often and you use up the 4-hour, tell me what settings you use. But anyway, I'll read the chat in a minute. I've seen there's two chats. I'll look. But yeah, so it seems like we did a similar thing where we wicked down to a low point, and we're kind of printing now. So I think we're gonna do like an iteration of what Bitcoin is doing, roughly with what's going on Ethereum. So I think we're gonna do something. So you can see the prices and the percentages might not be accurate, which is never is. No price, no chart moves one-to-one with another chart unless it's related really closely in terms of the chain and whatnot, or if it's like wrapped or whatever the hell. But it looks like we wicked down similar to how Bitcoin did, and then we're kind of staying above a certain price point. Now, that certain price point, it seems to be this midpoint here. As you can see, we bounced off this. Now, Ethereum seems to be following the order blocks pretty well, actually. Bitcoin kind of going on and off, but it seems like we've bounced off the lower point of our order block, which is good, and we're using the midpoint of this order block as our support point. So as Bitcoin had the smaller, or the bottom price we had was a smaller order block, and the higher point was a different order block. We're using one order block in this case for both things. So you can see we're using the midpoint of this one and this one at the bottom here. So I think we do something similar. Maybe we wick down. Maybe we wick down lower. So where could we wick down? Actually, we kind of have like a trend line here maybe. I think we wick down. If it does what I think Bitcoin or what Bitcoin might do as well, let's try and find a different line. Well, this looks like a consistent line. You can see we're kind of bouncing off it here, kind of bounced off it here. So we could wick down towards 29,000. I think 29,000 could be good, about there. So we could wick to 29,000. But again, I do think similar with Bitcoin, I think we crab a bit. But like I said, we do still have some more negativity to be had. The money flow is kind of having a hard time knowing what's going on. Alongside what's going on, but you can see we're starting to arc a bit. So I do think, I think in general, I think our money flows moved down a bit. I do think we kind of hover in the lower ends a bit. I think especially with Ethereum, we've already come down halfway. We moved up. Bitcoin, we moved up a lot more, and that's what I'm saying with this order block. And this is why I'm talking about. I think they're going to do the same thing, but I think it's going to mean different things. So with Bitcoin, I don't think we're going to fall to as low as the base of our top movement. But as you can see with Ethereum, we have a lot of negativity going on with Market Cipher, and the EMAs are above our price point. If I unhide them, we've got EMAs above our price points, which is going to be a lot of difficulty. And we still have, some part to move. But the positive movement we had in general when the market moved up, it's not that high in comparison to Bitcoin. So I think we can move lower in comparison to Bitcoin, which is why I think we might move towards the base of the movement about here. So I think we maybe come to the base about here. 29 to 32 ETH. Well, I agree with 29,000. Absolutely, I do agree with 29,000. 32k. I probably have a line at 32k. Yeah, you can see the 2% padding is pretty much exactly at 32k of this line here. So yeah, I've got different areas within anyway. So yeah, but I think we maybe come towards the base. So if we came to the base with Bitcoin, we would come all the way down. It would be terrible. But I think with Ethereum, it's okay to come to the base, seen as though we hadn't gone up that much in comparison to Bitcoin. So I think we do something a bit differently. I do think we at least wick down towards the base, maybe. But I think we come upwards and maybe hover within the area over here somewhere. But I do think we need a retractment. I think Ethereum will attract more than Bitcoin. But I think in general, the bias of the market today is we're kind of retracting to test some sort of support point before we move higher and whatnot. But you could argue there's maybe some sort of trend line going on here. So the lowest point could be the wick down here. So we could possibly print at 29.25. That could be where we print at, and I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. I think that's a viable scenario. I think that's a very viable scenario actually. As you can see with what I've drawn, our wick down towards this line here, and we have our general price be in this area here. So I think 29.25 is where we print at. I think we do wick towards 29k. I think 29.25 is roughly where we might print at as our candle stays. I look at the chats now. I need to zoom in on these chats. My eyesight is not very good. Gary just launched. Gary Botswat asked about. Hey, sorry. No, don't be sorry. I'm glad you're asking. I'm more than thankful you're asking. I like you asking. I like people asking actual questions. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, check it out for yourself. Obviously, I'm not like the turning point of all, indicators or bots. I'm not like, you should always do, if you want to look at it. I mean, it's nothing, I can't stop you from looking at it. I'm not saying I would stop you from looking at it, but, you should look at it. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if we're going to do anything. I think we did a video on it. I don't think we, obviously, if this just released, we're not have done a video on it. Mike might do a video on it on the update, but absolutely look at it. Maybe look at it and tell me about it. I'll have a look at it on stream if it sounds good. But like I said, I don't have anything against bots. I'm just saying the reason why I don't really use it. I like to do it myself. Obviously, doing it yourself takes a lot more time. If you don't have that time, if you wanted to have a low risk bot, that's they work pretty well. Bots do work a lot of the time, but when there's market situations where there's news, it doesn't really follow the news that well. But as AI is progressing, if AI was to incorporate crypto news, I think that'd be great for AI bots. But yeah, anyway, so come here. I can't scroll on the chat for some reason. Okay. So there are money flows momentum changes. Won't be really relevant for longer periods like daily plus charts. Yeah. So in market cipher, but as you go higher on the charts, market cipher changes to have more influence on the time frame. So as I'm saying, 4 hour. Actually, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't actually looked at the daily yet. You can see on the 4 hour we've got negativity, which is why I'm talking about we print. But as I'm talking about, we test somewhere of support and then come upwards. That coincides with what the daily and the 4 hour say. So as we have on the 4 hour, like I said, we've got our negativity. If we go to the daily, we've got positive VWAP, positive money flow, and positive momentum, which is to suggest within the daily time frame we should be going upwards and we should be in a positive trend, which makes sense, which correlates with what we're saying, with the fact that we're going to test some sort of support within the day and then move upwards as the week progresses, or we go on to next week. No, it's Thursday. Yeah, as the week progresses. So, but they do have weighting on different time frames because they do change. So it's not one market cipher for all time frames. So you can use them on different time frames more than enough, and I do that. I look at the 1 hour sometimes, the 4 hour. I had a period of looking at the 1 hour for a bunch of time, but now it's more the 4 hour and the daily because I want to give like a longer term assessment. But yeah, they change per time frame, so you can use it on all time frames. And I think there's some strategies you can use market cipher for scalping as well. I think there's an anchor trigger wave scenario. If you don't know what anchor trigger wave, I can draw it quickly. It's when you have a higher momentum and then a small wave here and a lower momentum, and when it does that, it is a negative anchor trigger wave, and you normally have a big price movement downwards. Obviously, if it's inverse, if you flip it on the other end of things, obviously you have a big wave down, a small wave, and a smaller wave. As you can see, if it does that, it needs to have a dot here. If it does that, then there's normally a positive movement which follows. But obviously you can look that up. There's people online who talk about that. So yeah. What other comments? I feel complicated with bots. Normal trading feels to me. Yeah, I mean, I have more confidence in myself than anything else, so I like you to do it myself. But I did dabble in bots and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to Solana. I've realised I'm a slightly bit behind on the time frame, so I'm gonna look at Solana quickly. I do think Solana's done a bit more than other things. It's looking more like Bitcoin now, actually, to be fair. It looks a bit more like... It's actually less negative than Bitcoin was. Where did we bounce off? Well, we bounced off nothing really significant. I did say I thought we were going to come to here. Interesting, actually. I drew this on the stream, actually. That's pretty good, actually. I thought we'd come up to here and bounce off here, which we roughly did. And I thought we were going to bounce off this price point and come up with 173. Now, I'm going to change that, actually. I think we might come a bit lower, as I think everything else is going to do. So I think we wick down towards 155. I think 155 is where we wick down to. But I do think we print roughly where this is and then we go upwards, as I think most things do. So maybe the 2% padding could be a good area. So I think we do wick down, but I think we come upwards to the 2% padding and then we slowly move upwards. So as I've said with the general market, we wick down to a lower price point, but I think we print roughly where we are right now and then we move upwards. Similar with Solana, I think our wick position is about 155. And I think our print is at least about 158. And I do think we move upwards, as does the entire market. But I drew this, I drew this on Monday. I thought we were going to go towards 173 by next week, or roughly next week. But what's nice actually is we did actually print. We did have a test pretty accurately at our order block. Solana is very good following order blocks. I've noticed it does follow order blocks pretty well. As you can see, this was a closer time frame order block. We're bouncing off this midpoint so nicely there, which is nice to see. Obviously, we had a bit of a different movement, but eventually we did reach this higher point in general. So if I longed, I probably would have got stopped out anyway because it came down before it went upward, which is unfortunate. But we came to the price point I thought we would come to. I think we do something like this, and then we move upwards again, similar with what I think the market's going to do in general. But yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time. Maybe look at the daily quickly. Again, yeah, money flow's coming upwards. Everything in general is coming upwards. I do think we come upwards anyway. in general for most coins. Just testing it real quickly, actually. If I go to this, okay, yeah, ignore that. That doesn't matter. Yeah, I think we do. I think we move upwards. I mean, as does the market. I think in general the market's going to move upwards anyway. My light is really not messing with me right now. Yeah, I think we move upwards in general, as does the market. You know, the daily has more of a positive, and like I said with the different time frames on Market Cipher, the daily has more of a positive kind of spin on things than the 4 hour. So I think that's why we're accurate to say that on the 4 hour we should kind of have some sort of test as some sort of support point, and then move upwards again as we found our base to come from. So I'm going to move on now to the thing some people are here for. Let me check what's going on actually. Let me alt tab to some different. Let me scroll up to different chats to see if anyone's said anything. Again, this place is just spam. Yeah, nothing there. That, you know, if you know, you know what I'm talking about. That the chat on that place is just really unfortunate. But anyway, I am now moving on to the meme coins, I suppose. The lower cap coins, the coins which everyone's hype about, where we can actually not use any of the things we look at. What am I doing? Where we can't use any of. Actually, let me hide this because we don't actually need that there. There we go. Actually, no, it's not used to do, is it? Stupid. There we go. So, you know, like I said, it didn't go into the. Yeah, here we go. So it's doing what I thought we were going to do. Or not what I thought we were going to do, as I redrew. So, unfortunately, about Deck Screener, we just have a chart. We just have Trading View with the normal, you know, availability of drawing. So we can't really do anything in particular. Why do I have an order block there? Is it like a lower time frame order block? I can't remember why I drew this. Oh yeah, it was an order block there. There we go. Okay, so let me go back to the 4 hour quickly. So I drew. Let me try and. I'm not going to hide it because I can't bother. But yeah, we had this drawn where we started to come down. So I think we're about. This is. Time frame is this. We're about here. So I thought we were going to bounce off this and then come upwards in the market. But this is when things came down. And yes, as I was saying on the last stream, my lines were that we're going to kind of come straight upwards towards the higher time frames, or not higher time frames, the higher price ranges. But unfortunately, as you saw with Solana and everything, we came down a bit more, and as we did with Bitcoin. But my Solana chart was a bit different than Bitcoin. That was what's the word for it now? There's a word in my head, I can't remember it. The continuity error on my half, because on Bitcoin I said one thing and Solana said the other. It did what Bitcoin did rather than Solana, which obviously makes sense, was we came down before we came upwards. So instead of us bouncing, which I draw similar to Solana, we actually came down more like I drew with Bitcoin, which meant we came below this order block. Obviously we tried to get above it, but then we bounced kind of off this kind of rough area here, and then came down again. So we had difficulty. We couldn't get back above this really. So it actually meant we completely invalidated that small movement downwards. Meant we completely invalidated this movement, which, you know, like I said on the chart last time I looked at it on CAW, I said that we weren't that there was availability of us to move down pretty crazily and actually not fully like stay above something due to the fact the market cap is a bit lower. We can move a bit more rapidly, but as I've drawn, we're actually now in a different sort of range. Now, I drew this up here and I copied it over. As you can see, it's actually pretty accurate. So we've got a really nicely accurate kind of, I think it's like a bull flag, I think this one is, or a bull, I think it's bull flag. Could be wrong though. I think it's bull flag. My name's, sometimes I get the name wrong. There it is, yeah, bull flag. So you can see we're kind of in a bull flag here. Now, it's kind of a fat, chunky flag. It's kind of a flag you've stuck in the ground, and the flag is like, the flag cloth is 10 times bigger than the pole. So you can see the pole's not very big in comparison to the range, but again, you know, the range is there. So you can see that's kind of the pole. We're kind of bouncing now. We're following the range pretty well. So coming towards this range, coming to maybe as low as kind of this order block area, aka coming to as low, eerily enough, 5 exactly. So if I draw a ray about here, you can see the bottom of this line is about 5. Pretty much exactly, so it's very nice. So I think we come to as low as 5. Now, like I said, charts they're going to have different movements. You know, this is on Kronos. It's going to be different movement than the chart. I mean, obviously, however Bitcoin moves is going to be how this moves in general. But I think, you know, as Bitcoin and everything, I think is going to move down a bit more than where we are right now. This would allow us to move down to here. So, you know, as I drew with Bitcoin, we've moved up like this. I think we're going to come like here and then go upwards. That would coincide with what's going on with, you know, CAW right now, where we come down and come upwards, coming down to our next low point at about 56.35, and then come out back upwards, probably to around the midpoint of this order block, maybe towards the lower point of the order block at about 66. Obviously, like I said, coming down to about 5, and then coming back upwards from 5, pretty much in a straight line, all the way back up to about 88. So I think we come back to upwards towards 88, which was the line which I thought would come to about, you know, now anyway. But I think we come towards 88. Obviously, I'm kind of going to unfortunately have to delete this because it was just not very good, unfortunately. Which is, you know, it is a shame we invalidated it, which is unfortunate. But I think this is now the new movement for CAW. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to reiterate it again because, you know, we could have complete positivity. You know, we could come down to this low point and then come upwards towards this midpoint, and then have a different surge of of money come inwards of CAW, and then break us above and invalidate this, maybe using the order block again, and then we might be in a similar range where we have another sort of trend line going on where we kind of bounce off here and then do what we're supposed to do on Monday, but on Monday next week. So we could do something like that. I'm just trying to preface the fact that lower market cap coins, obviously they can move a lot more, rapidly, or not rapidly, but they can be more volatile than other coins, which have higher market caps. So you have to be careful when you try and do chart patterns with these lower cap coins, because they can invalidate them a bit easier than other coins. So you have to be careful. But from what I have right now, again, like I said, when I look at the chart, it's just data I have in front of me. And what I have right now is that we do this movement, come downwards, and then come towards about 5, coming upwards towards 88. Roughly. So yeah, that's what I kind of think is going on. Obviously, within this movement, we're probably going to see some sort of resistance, maybe bouncing off the midpoint of this order block. But I think eventually, throughout the movement, towards Tuesday, apparently Tuesday next week, we're going to be about 88 for CAW. So I think that sounds pretty good for CAW. Obviously, it's unfortunate that we broke out of our trend that we were in, but we'll see. I suppose we will see. What happens with CAW. As you can see, what's nice about these sorts of these screening websites, which have the charts come in and you can see the order flow. Kind of the transactions, obviously, it's kind of like the order flow. Not really. It's not the order flow at all, actually. I'm completely wrong. The transactions, basically, you can see kind of the influx and outflow of kind of what's going on, the strength of them. As you can see, $8,000 here. Obviously, that's not going to change the world, but you can kind of see what's going on. Obviously, there are buys, but big sales here. So I do think we have genuinely, on average, more sales throughout this. It would be nice if I could add an EMA though. EMA cross. I'm going to do triple EMA. That's not what I thought it was. I thought the triple. Oh, is it like a triple? What's it? That is simple. Is it exponential? Is it triple exponential? Is that what it stands for? I haven't actually looked at that. I thought there was an EMA which has multiple things. Apparently not though. But I think the EMA cross has 2 different EMAs, which is good. It's got a 9 and 26, but I don't really care about that. Let me just get one EMA. I'm not going to do the 21-day EMA. I want to get a good EMA which works with the 4-hour, because I know the 1 hour and the 20 and the 21-day work pretty well. I think the 200-day is pretty good, but obviously I don't know how that's going to be. Let's see. So 21-day EMA. We came to test it. You know what? I'm ignoring the EMA. I'm going to make sure I find, because obviously there's different, on different time frames, different EMAs are better in terms of how much faster they are. Obviously 21-day EMA and the 1 hour do pretty well. I'll do more research, whatever. Do more research on the 4-hour, see what good EMAs are. Obviously, like I said, if you guys use EMAs and you look at the 4-hour more often and you look at a consistent EMA price or a consistent EMA day time frame, let me know. But I think that's pretty much it for CAW. I don't really have much more to look at, unless I try and look at see if we've printed another order block on the lower time frames, possibly. We have actually, which is nice, and I'm glad we did, and I'm glad it's where it is. It actually looks like it's at the higher point here, which is good. I'm glad. I'd rather be up there than down here. but it seems like we have another EMA pretty much sitting on top of each other there, which is nice. But again, it's on the 1 hour. It's probably going to be a bit of a less strength anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of core. That is core. You know, that's kind of all I'm going to look at. I've got MERY next. I don't know if that's on TradingView, so I'm going to go back to TradingView. I don't think it's going to be, but we'll have a look anyway. Okay, it's not even there. Okay, cool. So let's go on to Dexter now. Look at MERY. Mystery. Right, okay. Let's have a look, see what's going on with this. Okay, we've got data. This is good. I'm glad we have data. So what's going on? So I don't know. Okay. So this is all the data I have. Now, I don't know how. Now, I said this with Crow, and it might not be as true, where, you know, you have the you have some of the meme coins where they have this big old chart. They do that, and then they. Hold on, let me draw that properly. It's really badly done. It's something like this. I think it's like this, and they kind of do that, and then they flatline. Now, some meme coins do that, and when they do this, it's not good. Basically, it means they're never going to come back. Now, I don't know how much data history Crow has, but I don't know if it follows that. But obviously, you just got to be careful of that. You know, it seems to have that sort of action going on right now. Maybe something like this, and it dies off. You know, 6th of June. So, you know, got to be careful of that. But anyway. Trump coin hit all-time high today of $1.04. $1.04. I don't know how many tokens there were, but that's crazy. That is really crazy. Maybe have a look at it. So let me draw some, you know, consistent price points and some sort of, you know, order blocks. It seems like we've got something here. Maybe you can see kind of hovering there. A really nice order block here as well, as I can see it there, which actually we're using right now, roughly as support. Let me change the settings of this. It's pretty ugly. That's the problem when I don't have my settings. Everything just looks really ugly. The border's really too strong. And then we do the background. So there we go. Whatever. That's good enough. So you can see, kind of got this order block here. Let me make it a bit more accurate there. There we go. So you see the order blocks printed there. It's actually nearly another one there. But if you come along, you can see we're bouncing pretty much off the midpoint of that order block anyway. There's probably going to be something on the higher end of things. There is a lot of consistent order blocks, especially here as well. A good order block. As you can see, we started to use that pretty accurately there. I don't know if there's any other. Maybe you could probably maybe roughly consider this one, possibly. You know, if you can see. Whoops, let me draw this properly. You can see there's maybe something there. We can see we're kind of bouncing off it there. I'll have that as a shorter term one, but you can see we've got a high end and a low end in terms of our prices, and obviously you've got this midpoint one now, which we're kind of in. Which, you know, if you look at it, it kind of looks like a premium discount kind of scenario, which, you know, I don't look at too often, but it's roughly within the area of a premium discount where you have, you know, the midpoint and the high point. Obviously, that's going to be more than that average anyway. But we kind of have a midpoint and then the high point and low point. So we've kind of got a premium discount. Obviously, this is technically discount. So in theory, it's a discount. You should be buying right now. But obviously, you've got to be careful. I don't see any obvious trends right now. But what's nice to see as well, and I do talk about this often as well, when we look at big movements for charts, is when you have a significant price point where you bounce and then move upwards. As you can see, we kind of did the same thing here. Significant price point where we've bounced off it and then we've gone up. So this price point at 4164 is going to be a significant price point for this coin, Mystery, whatever it's called. So because this is normally, when this happens, when you have a movement like this, and then you bounce and then have a really big movement upwards, that normally means that this line below it is a really strong line of normally support or resistance, depending on which direction you move for it. So that's a good sign. That is very good to see. Like I said, I don't really see much in terms of chart patterns. Yeah, I'm not seeing much chart patterns, so I can't really apply a chart pattern. So obviously, I would look at market stuff right now, but can't. I would be looking at, you know, some significance. Obviously, we can't. We can only really look at order blocks and chart patterns, like I said. But and again, also, all we can apply right now is what we know of the market so far, what we're going to be doing, and you know how we can apply that to this chart right now. So how can we apply that? Well, you know, we're on the lower end of things, kind of seeing difficulty at this order block, probably hovering maybe this order block, but you know, it's a hard decision, especially since I think things are going to be moving down. But you know, this isn't really following the market. Obviously, it's not very. How long ago was this? I mean, it really only started to move 26th of April, so it's not very, not very old. So it's not obviously, like I said this last stream. Newer coins don't really follow the market as much as pre-existing coins, which makes sense. So it's not really following the market as much. As you can see, things the normal chart it did like what was it? It was kind of like this and this and this. Well, we've been doing this the entire time, so it doesn't seem like we're following the market too accurately. So we can't really apply that. Can't apply anything like a market cipher. We can only really apply basic. I suppose this is premium discount technically. So what do we have? Well, we're pretty much at a discount right now. Maybe moving upwards towards the midpoint, which is roughly where this top point of the order block is. So maybe a moving upwards for Mystery, I think it's called. If I do draw, actually, this is some fib, the fib levels, brilliant. I forgot about these. These are brilliant, actually. What I will draw is this. I think you go from the low to the high. I don't be wrong though. There you go. I think this is right. Or do you have to draw it from the bottom? I don't think you have to draw it from the bottom. Can't remember exactly. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Sometimes because like the higher areas work better when you go from the high to the low, like so, and you shimmy it along. That looks a bit better actually. To be fair, that looks a lot better actually, especially with this lower point down here and this orange point. Obviously this blue point. So we can apply this. It seems like this orange line is actually coinciding with our premium discount. So, as I said with premium discounts, it's pretty primitive. But as you can see, if we measure between the high point and the low point we have within this range, you can see the midpoint of this is about 6 exactly. Now, the orange fib level is about 5938, so very close, about a 50th, or whatever the hell that is, away from. Obviously, this is a lower price coin, so it makes sense. But this orange line seems like it's the premium discount area, so obviously having difficulty there. But once we reach there and break above it, if we were, it would be very easy to get upwards towards the higher points. So what I think is going to happen now is we maybe move upwards towards higher points. It depends on where we print out right now. If we print if we print below this, maybe coming towards 4775 to test the support. But if we kind of have a bit of a hovering over here and stay above this red line, then probably kind of having a like a kind of coming upwards a bit. Maybe towards the orange line or maybe the midpoint of our order block, which would be pretty good. I'd rather say the midpoint of the order block. That's more accurate than anything else. Maybe upwards towards there. So that's more of a potential for Mystery. I'm trying to see if I can apply anything else to this. Maybe apply an EMA. Normally, I think in general the 200-day EMA is pretty good. So I'm going to apply the 200-day EMA real quick just to see if we're above or below. Because obviously normally, so we're above it. Obviously, it kind of makes sense we're above it. Obviously, 200 days is a bit of a different thing going on here. It's catching up, but again, like I said, on the floor, I don't really know what's a good time frame. Maybe the 50-day. I'm kind of guessing here though. I don't really use the EMAs too much. Okay, that seems pretty good actually. Kind of bouncing off it there, kind of bouncing off it there, and then we flipped it. Fortunately, so we've seen like we flipped it. And it seems like it's probably nearing the midpoint. So what I wouldn't be surprised if this, EMA continues to come downwards towards, the orange line, and probably seeing difficulty at this mid-level at about 6. I do think we come upwards for Mystery, because seeing as though it is, it's not really following the market too accurately, so it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have negativity, as I think the market is going to do in general. So I think we come upwards. I do think we come upwards for Mystery, but again, if we print below this red line and kind of have difficulty, it'll probably move downwards. This EMA will probably move towards the order block, and then if we come back upwards again, probably see difficulty at 55 or 57 instead. But yeah, that's kind of it for Mystery. We've got Push and Moon left, and we're about an hour and 4 minutes into the stream. We've got about 5 minutes till 10 o'clock. So I think we might spend another 3 minutes on each, and then that'll be about it. So we've got Push next. Push their button. So this doesn't have a lot of history either, so I'll probably have to apply some sort of fib levels and a bit of a theoretical application to things, because obviously if you don't really have a lot of levels, oops, that's the wrong thing. you know, I don't really have, you know, market cipher to follow. I don't really have anything insignificant or significant to follow. So I'm going to have to basically apply it to fib levels. So you can see following these fib levels pretty accurately. You know, especially this green one's pretty nice. I don't know if you do. Is it more accurate to do it again? I haven't used, you know, I haven't used the fib levels in absolutely ages. I don't know if it's more accurate to do it against the candles. I think it might be actually. I think it's more accurate to do it against the candles. So you can see, bounced off it there. Okay, you know what? I'll do it against the candles. Candles look pretty good. You know what? Let me go back quickly actually to, what was it? MERY. Let me do it to the candles. I think it looks more accurate then. That's all I'll say. Whoops. See how accurate this is. Is this more accurate? I suppose it kind of is, roughly. It's not very, kind of bounced off it there, kind of bounced off it there. Not really too good there. Bounced off it there, that's pretty good. Bounced off it there, obviously that's where we came to. You know what, I'll keep it to the candles. If it is to the candles, obviously, again, I will keep on to this. The green, again, looks a bit near the premium line. But again, the orange line also looks like it's very accurate to our midpoint of the order block, which, you know, again, more confidence there. But anyway, I'm not moving back. I'm going to move back to push. I'm going to do it to the candles. Yeah, you know what, it's actually been a really long time since I used fib levels. I know Mike uses them. If you can hear me, I can't remember if it's better to do the candle or not. But you know, regardless, it looks better to use it against candles. As you can see, bounce off it there. You know, we have really good consistency there. So it seems like we're actually below that now. Probably have some applicability to come towards the green side of things. In terms of candle patterns, I mean, I'm not really seeing much. There's not really a head and shoulders. There's not really anything there. This is too high to be a head and shoulders. I mean, we could probably apply the head and shoulders pattern to it, but I don't think it's that applicable. As you can see, that this isn't very good. And to be fair, it kind of is. If you count the high point there, you could technically apply a head and shoulders to this, kinda. Yeah, as you can see, we've kind of got. Actually, you know what? Because you can see we've kind of got this trend line going of the candles. Kind of got head and shoulders going on, probably bringing us to, where would you say? Well, I mean, you could also probably apply some sort of, you know, Bart Simpson maybe coming towards the lower end of things. So I would probably apply it towards maybe the orange line of the fib, which would bring us, you know, down towards here maybe, which would be how much of a short that would be. Be a pretty good short, about 34%. Obviously, you want a good risk-reward ratio. So maybe applying it to, I mean, a 1-to-1 isn't very good. You kind of want like a 1-to-2. But again, it can just absolutely stop you. But again, you could probably put it there 2.5. Again, that's a bit risky to be fair. But you know, you could probably apply this head and shoulders. Technically, I mean, as you know, TradingView has it, kind of have this head and shoulders going on. Haven't actually looked at any sort of order blocks or anything. But again, I don't really think it matters if we look at order blocks because it's nearly 10 o'clock. We've still got Moon to look at, so I'm probably going to quickly look at Moon. But you know, technically, we've got head and shoulders going on here, as you can see. Kind of got head and shoulders going on here. It's a bit of an iffy one, but you can technically apply it. Look, you can see boom there. Obviously, we kind of wicked out there, which is the unfortunate aspects of things. So it's not too accurate. I won't hold on to this, but it could be a good short if it was accurate enough. But you know, regardless, it does seem like we kind of have a you know, some sort of trend line going on, maybe. Especially here, actually. To be fair, I mean, kind of got oh, what's it called? It's like it's one of the wedges. I think there's a wedge which looks like that, coming from a higher point there. There is. You kind of got this descending triangle, whatever it is, or symmetrical triangle. I mean, so basically, so it looks like a symmetrical triangle, kinda. It's not so much of a ascending. I mean, It's more of a descending triangle, I suppose. But either way, you can kind of apply this triangle. You can see like kind of bounce off it there to there, maybe coming upwards again towards 3 roughly, coming down. Draw that a bit better actually. Maybe doing a little bounce within this range over here, and then maybe this might bring us down. I think this is a negative thing from what it looks like. So this might bring us down towards some sort of significant price point. I would probably say the orange line, as you can see how accurate this area was. You can see that red line was pretty accurate. The orange line was really accurate as well. So probably bring us towards this orange line down here. And yeah, so I think we've either got this head and shoulders bringing us towards the orange line, or this kind of falling wedge, whatever you want to call it, towards the lower end of things anyway. So that would bring us to about 1742. So maybe hold on to this, wait to see if we bounce up off this higher end, or if we come down towards. So maybe put your short in if you want to enter it at about 25. Obviously, then you'd have to have a lower risk reward, maybe towards the green line here. But you'd be a bit more, you'd be a bit more closer if it was actually below, if you know what I mean. So that would give you about a 30% move down for push. So it could be pretty good. Obviously, you can't really leverage trade this. I mean, it's not like it's on Solana. You can't really do it on like some decentralized, futures. You can't really do it any fair significance. You probably have to put money into it and just straight up buy the coin. But again, if it's going down, you can't really buy the coin unless, I don't really think there's a way of shorting them. So I think that's kind of it for push. Obviously, I'm going to quickly, I'll quickly look at Moon. I'll look at I think that's injective, right? So I'll look at that really quickly. And then, yeah. Okay. What is this? I don't know why I just stopped talking about something, but I don't know what this is. Like, who asked me to look at this? Rather watch a video of like paint dry or something. I thought I was something like that. I don't know what this is. This is, obviously early doors. It's looking a bit, sorry for itself. Get that more accurately there. There we go. So very good range from what it looks like. Technically coming from a high point. So technically, if I go to patterns, it's it. Look at the polygon that got bridged from poly. Oh, right, okay. Is that why there's no data? What, this, W-matic? Does he have more data on it then? Right, yeah, thank you. You know what? Thank you very much for saying that, because I did not want to look at that. It's, you know what? It's all right. Yeah, I'll look at it. I'm going to look at it anyway. Right, I mean, so yeah, I can still see the movement, to be fair. So that's probably why it's moved similar. But again, yeah, it still has this range from what it looks like, kind of from there. So we're still in this range, but at least it's, it is positive range. I mean, it's not like it's a flag or anything. It just looks like we're genuinely just in a range. I'm trying to get this a bit accurate. So, there's not much to look at in terms of, where we're going. So, on the higher end of things, we've kind of got, this range going on, kind of getting wider, it seems like. So maybe, as we kind of go along, it's getting wider and wider, maybe going along. Wait, that's, let me try to draw this properly. There we go. I'd say maybe a longer line towards the higher points going toward the 12. There's, like I said, there's nothing. It's not really a chart. It's kind of just a range we're in. Yeah, thank you for saying it came from Poly, because I did not want to look at that other chart. So the only thing I can really do other than this is look at inner range kind of order blocks or anything. Let's see how applicable this. It's not 2 1-to-1, but it kind of looks like an order block. Let's just see how good that is. It looks all right, to be fair. It looks decent. It's actually a really. Oh, I've drawn this wrong. There we go. It does look all right. It kind of bounced off the midpoint, so it did kind of accept it. Obviously, bouncing off the higher range, going from our upper end, having big surge upwards, testing it, bouncing off it. We came in, big surge downwards, probably having difficulty, and then coming upwards again. So a decent order block. But again, it's kind of, if we're going upwards in this range, which as long as we're going, hopefully should be. I mean, again, we're a $6.4 million market cap, so coming upwards to break above this midpoint is not going to be any issue too much anyway. So coming upwards wouldn't be too hard. So a good midpoint of support, very nice. Good to see. Trying to see if there's any other rocks. It doesn't really seem like it. Any other consistent price points? Well, you could probably say maybe there, somewhere within here, kind of bouncing off this. Then you kind of used it as a resistance. So maybe a midpoint resistance point. But I think in general we have this general movement upwards for Moon. I think we're in this range. So as you can see, like up here, in this area, for example, we come upwards. We had a bit of issue, but we still came upwards. I think the same thing happened, but for this midpoint instead. So we came upwards, had a bit of an issue. I think this is generally like a checkpoint kind of scenario where you come into it, kind of have a bit of a crab to garner more, bullish movement and then move upwards. Same thing here. I think you move upwards to the midpoint, similar like over here. Probably hover at this midpoint to garner some more bullish movement and then come upwards again towards 1250. Moon is alpha. I think everyone's coming in now. Yeah, I mean, I've just wrapped up the TA on it because I'm going to quickly go on to injective really quickly and then end the stream. But Moon looks pretty good. I mean, I'll probably open up the chart again. Let me go back to trading view. Look at injective. I think, yeah, it's injective, right? I'm not getting that wrong. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, injective. I don't think I've done TA on that for an age. What is going on here? Oh, this is, yeah, that's a while ago, huh? Yeah, this is when I was using a bunch of crap. Yeah, let me get all that. I'm a new person. I don't need all that crap. All right, so actually, let's go back on daily, see if we've got any daily order blocks. Daily order blocks really strong, very good. Looks like we have a daily order block over here. Wolf swap. Did I not look at that? That wasn't on the list. I'll look at that next time. I thought I was supposed to look at that. That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to looking at that. I know there's a video out on all of it. But anyway, it actually seemed like we did an order block. Wow, isn't that amazing? We actually did a fair value gap. Came back, touched it, and wow, isn't that very nice? Anyway, haven't looked at a fair value gap in ages. Yeah, that's the only real good order block in terms of the daily. I'm going to quickly go to the 4 hour, see what's going on in terms of this area. Again, it does. To be fair, it looks like we've already got a simple significance area for kind of this position here too, as well, from the midpoint to the top point of the order block. So we go back to it. Everyone's coming into the chat. You've missed it. You've missed it already. I'll go back to the charts to be fair, because everyone's coming in to spam their the stuff. But anyway, I'm trying to see if there's anything significant on the 4 hour, which doesn't seem like it. Oh, it's the same token, right? Oh, is it? Yeah, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. I was supposed to watch the video. I didn't watch the video. I can't go to the chat. There we go. Moonspam's here. I know all the spammers are here. You missed it. No. I'm gonna go back to the chart. I have the chart open. Don't worry. I'm gonna go back to it. Just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna finish off on this injective chart, and I'll go back to the chart. I'll go, oh my god, this is the best coin ever. It's so good. Woohoo! Don't boo me, all right? Just because I'm continuing. You missed it. I did the old coins for ages, and then I move on, and then everyone's. All right, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna show the chart. This is what I did. Okay, as you guys were gone. Obviously, I know this is kind of on the it's not on the it's not on Chronos. To be fair, the chart was bad, but I know apparently got bridged. But it's kind of the same chart anyway. It is the same chart roughly. So they're doing the same thing. Obviously, it's the same coin. Obviously, I know the wrapped is going to be a different price, so it's going to alter a bit. But in general, what the coin is doing is going to be the same on both areas. Yeah, it's on the Chronos and on Polygon. Yeah, exactly. But in general, I did TA. There was more data to look at on the on Polygon anyway, so I did it on there. I've already looked at it. Obviously, you've got this order block here. I think we'll go upwards. So yeah, my TA, I'll redo it quickly for everyone who's joined. You're rudely late, actually. You're nowhere near on time, which is I'm disappointed. But you're here now, so I guess I will pause my injective analysis, which someone nicely asked me. I believe it was only you, wasn't it? Obviously, there's too much chat now. I can't go up, but just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I think we'll go up. Obviously, kind of what I have for my analysis here. Obviously, that's a crazy percentage upwards, but again, $6.4 million market cap. We have the allowance. We have the allowance to move up there. But I think we do something. I compared this movement to this movement. where we kind of have movement upwards, kind of a checkpoint, kind of stop off, kind of sit around the campfire, kind of rest our legs, and then move upwards again the second half. I think we do the exact same thing, hopefully anyway, unless, but again, I do explain this for all the meme coins. Lower market caps, we can exit out of, trends easier, but, I think we're in this trend, I think we're in this trend. So I think we, boom, kind of go up, kind of sit in this area, boom, kind of hover a bit, kind of probably something like coming upwards and then coming to bounce, probably having some sort of line over here, and then coming upwards, bouncing, coming upwards again towards 1250. So there you go. That was my analysis on your amazing coin. There you go, guys. Don't worry. I kept my word. Kept my word. I believe Mike tweeted that we were doing the altcoins at 9:30 or our time. I think he put USD plus 2. So you're a bit late. Obviously that's not on my half. That's on your half. But you're here now. There's the chart. Very good. It's looking very good. And that is true. It is utility as well. It is utility. Did I say meme coin? I didn't mean meme coin, but I revoke my statement. My bad. The problem is I've looked at 4 or 3 other meme coins today, so I kind of bundled it into one. But anyway, I think it's looking pretty good, and it is looking very nice. The chart looks very nice. I mean, and if I do a little sneaky shift drag, that's quite a high percentage upwards. All right, I'll join the Discord in a bit. Yeah, my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I misspoke. I looked at push, MERY, CAW. I think I did. I don't know if I did. I don't think I did mouse and pasta, but I was gonna do mouse and pasta. I basically did 4 other meme coins. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But anyway, like I said, look, 92%, pretty good. Obviously, that's the analysis. I'm gonna quickly go back to objective because it was kindly asked for, so I'm gonna have to do it. Obviously, it's not like it's a bad thing to have to do it. But it looks like we have found a support point. Very nice. Obviously, I do think we wick down though. Again, it's the same analysis on every other coin. It's probably going to be something like this. That's probably a bit drastic, maybe to the 2% padding, maybe wick down to here and then come upwards to a higher point. Obviously, there's probably some sort of line over here. I'm doing this very fast because I'm going to end the stream soon. So it's going to probably come back upwards to this line. As you can see, again, another point here. Probably something along the lines of, probably wicking down here, coming upwards, maybe bouncing off here, coming upwards eventually. Obviously, maybe having some sort of difficulty, actually, maybe hovering, coming up, bouncing, going upwards. Bish, bash, rush. Very good. Very awesome. Objective. How much did it go up by? 16%. Boom. There you go. So only there's TA. Obviously, and I say this all the time as well. Not all the time, actually, to be fair. I don't know how late you are in the stream, Mike, but I have, I revoked my statement, though. I know, it's not a meme. I coupled it in with all the other memes, so, but, if you want the charts I've done today, obviously you can go to the Telegram. And I just realized my stream is actually a bit late. You can go to the Telegram. I can post in these charts or these price points if you want them, and to look at them, see. Obviously, not financial advice. Do my research. Not just financial advice. I'm going to preface that before I end the stream as well. If you're still watching, I'm going to trade on what you just said. Don't do that. Make sure it's your own. Make sure it's your own analysis. Make sure you look into these projects. Make sure you look into anything you're about to do, and make sure it's not my. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just someone who looks at the charts, whether it be good charts or bad charts. It's your opinion. I don't really care. But yeah, I guess that's it. Obviously, I'm 15 minutes after I wanted to end the stream, but obviously, I'm done it now. I'm going to bring back up the moon chart because everyone's still here. Look at the moon chart, guys. Don't worry. Look. Yeah. Avert your eyes to this amazing chart. Look, all I'm going to do, we'll do this, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Oops. I'm going to do that. There you go. So we'll zoom in on this, and I'm going to zoom in on that price up there to the higher point here. There we go. Let me put it up there. There we go. So I'm just going to zoom in on this percentage, and that's all we're going to have to look at. There you go. See that percentage? There you go. That's all I'm going to leave on the screen while I do the outro, because for everyone who's here, who's spamming Moon, you can see it right there of what I think of the project. That's all I have to say. So thank you, all of you, for joining. I really do appreciate it. Whatever platform you're on, wherever you are, if you're in the comments, I appreciate you guys, saying stuff, mainly. Obviously, people are asking questions. Top tier goes right there. Kishan, only you. Kabir. I think, is it Destruct, I think you called? I think you joined the other stream as well. Obviously, if you become more consistent, thank you for joining. Obviously, everyone anywhere, thank you. Spending time. Obviously, if you're inclined to donate, obviously that is your own back. Just being here, supporting, saying stuff, saying hello, that's more than enough for me. So thank you. Only have a great evening. I hope you have a great evening. Kabir, goodbye. Goodbye to you. Thank you all so much for joining. I will be back on Saturday for the professional stream. Obviously, that is the epitome of crypto streaming. Anyone else who does crypto streaming, they're trash. We are the best crypto streamers ever on any platform ever to ever exist, ever. Obviously, you know, I think it's only coupled with the amazing transitional music we have. Obviously, that was done by moi. Obviously, if you've been on any of the Saturday streams, you know how amazing it is. You know, it's basically like watching the news. It's basically like watching a multi-million-dollar studio. I'm waffling. I need to end the stream right now. I'm going to stop waffling. Thank you so much for watching. Join us on Saturday. I'll be back Saturday. I'll be back Monday. And probably Wednesday again, maybe Thursday. Hopefully, I think Bitcoin's going to do well. Hopefully, you know, everything seems like it's kind of having my final statement, it seems like it's kind of having a test of support and going upwards. So, you know, maybe take that into your TA if you do it. But obviously, you know, it's your life. It's your accounts, you know. Make sure it's your own opinion. Wolf Swap's alpha. Moon is alpha. Yes. Everything is alpha. Every coin ever is all alpha. But 96%, looking pretty good. I mean, 6.4 million market cap is not out of the ordinary. 9.6. Obviously, you know, if we absolutely fall below everything ever, that'll be unfortunate. I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to come upwards. But obviously, this is going to take some time. This is going to take some time. 20th of May, when is that? That is like next week, Monday, apparently. I mean, to be fair, I think the higher end of pretty much all tokens is 20th of May. So I don't know if it'll be that fast. I mean, hey, if we go from here, 35% down, from the 12th of May to the 16th, took 4 days to move that much. So I wouldn't be surprised if it took, what did it take, 7? If it took about 3 to 4 days to go upwards, wouldn't be surprised. Especially seeing as though how much of a gradient it's at. So 96% incoming. Moon's going to absolutely blow up. Thank you. Yeah, goodbye. I guess that was it. So, bye.